Hello everyone, how are you guys? My name is Akash Dev, and if you don't know me, I have been doing 30 days of talking to camera challenge, and I feel very pleasure to share with you guys that I have successfully completed the 30 days of talking to camera challenge, and this is my 31st video. In my previous video that I had promised that in my next video I will be talking about dynamic programming, but I don't think I would be talking about dynamic programming because it is very difficult topic and it is not possible for me to visualize you the concept for dynamic programming. So this would be my last video. You can imagine it something like a goodbye video for you guys, because my objective was to complete these 30 days and I have successfully completed these 30 days, and now I won't be getting any much time to record videos. If I would get time, so I would definitely record videos, but I don't think I would get time because my college is reopening, and yeah, that's probably the main reason why I can't record more videos. I will try to record videos whenever I get back home in holidays or whenever I get free time. So yeah, let's move to the main content of this video. So in this video I will be talking about complexity theory. I have completed all the data structures and algorithms topic, everything, and this is the last topic. This is also very important for the research topics. So let's understand it in some detail. Computational complexity is the measurement of how much resources are required to solve some problem. There are two types of resources. First is time and second one is space. Time is the number of steps required to solve a particular problem, and space is the amount of memory required to solve a particular problem. Now what is decision problem? Much of complexity theory deals with decision problems. A decision problem always have a yes or no answer. Many problems can be converted into decision problem that have the answer as yes or no. For example, searching algorithm. If you have the element which you want to search is present in the list, then you would simply return a yes, or if it is not present in the list, then you would simply return a no. Second one is sorting of list and finding if the array is sorted. You could make a decision problem: is the array sorted in increasing order? If yes, then you would return yes. If no, then you would return false. Third one is graph coloring algorithm. This can also be converted into decision problem. Can we do graph coloring by using x number of colors? If yes, then true. If no, then false. Fourth one is Hamiltonian cycle. Is there a path from all the nodes? Each node is visited exactly once and come back to the starting node without breaking. If the answer is yes, then return true, or else return false. These are quite simple. Now comes complexity class. So what is a complexity class? Problems are divided into many classes based on their difficulty or how difficult it is to find the given solution is correct or not. Class P problems. The class P contains of a set of problems that can be solved in the polynomial times. Here P stands for polynomial time complexity. The complexity of P problem is big O of n to the power k, where n is the input size and k is some constant. It cannot depend on n. Class P definition. The class P contains all the decision problems for which a Turing machine algorithm leads to the yes or no answer in a definite number of steps bounded by a polynomial fraction. For example, given a sequence a1, a2, a3 up to an, find if a number x is there in this list. We can search the number x in this list in linear time, that is polynomial time. Another example says that given a sequence a1, a2, a3 up to an, if we are asked to sort the sequence, we can sort the array of polynomial time using bubble sort. This is also linear time. You have to note one thing is that big O of n log n is also polynomial. Any algorithm which has complexity less than some big O of nk is also polynomial. Some problem of polynomial classes: shortest path problem, minimum spanning tree problem, maximization problem, max flow graph problem, convex hull problem, binary search problem. These all are examples of polynomial time complexity problem. Set of problems for which there is a polynomial time checking algorithm. Given a solution, if one can check in a polynomial time if that solution is correct or not, then that problem is called NP problem. So what is the full form of NP? NP stands for non-deterministic polynomial time. The solution which can be solved in non-deterministic polynomial time, those problems are called NP problem. So suppose there is a class NP problem, that is a set of NP problems, then the problems which can be solved in polynomial times is a subset of that class of NP problems. There is no guarantee that you will be able to solve this problem in polynomial time. However, if a problem is NP problem, then you can verify the answer in polynomial time. What I am trying to say is, suppose if a polynomial is non-deterministic, if a problem is non-deterministic polynomial time problem, that means it can be solved in non-deterministic polynomial time. Now we can't actually solve this problem in polynomial time, but we can verify its answer in polynomial time. Suppose, let me give you an example. Suppose we take an example of Sudoku problem. So in Sudoku problem, we have to check for each and every element each and every time. So it would take a lot of time. It can't be solved in polynomial time. It is 2 to the power n problem. So it is non-deterministic polynomial time algorithm. but we can verify a solved Sudoku in polynomial time. That is, if we are already given a solved Sudoku, then we can verify that in polynomial time. So this is what it means to be a non-deterministic polynomial time. It is not necessary that we could solve that problem in polynomial time, but we can verify its solution in polynomial time. NP doesn't mean non-polynomial. Actually, it is non-deterministic polynomial type of algorithm. They are the kind of problems that can be solved in polynomial time by a non-deterministic Turing machine. At each point, all the problems are executed in parallel. If there are n possible choices, then all n classes will be executed in parallel. We do not have non-deterministic computers. Do not be confused with parallel computing, because the number of CPU is limited in parallel computing. It may be 16 core or 32 core, but it cannot be n core. In short, NP problems are those problems for which a solution is given. We can verify that solution if it is correct or not in polynomial time. Next comes our Boolean satisfiability problem. A Boolean formula is satisfied if there exists some assignment of the values 0 and 1 to its variables that causes it to evaluate to 1. There are in total n different Boolean variables from a1 to an. There are m number of brackets. Each bracket has k variable. There is n variables, so that the number of solution would be 2 to the power n, and to verify the solutions really evaluate to equation 1, we will take total 2 to the power n km steps. In given solution of this problem, you can find the formula satisfies or not in km steps. Now our next problem is Hamiltonian cycle problem. Hamiltonian cycle is a path from all the nodes of a graph. Each node is visited exactly once and came back to the starting node without breaking. This is an NP problem. If you have a solution to it, then you can just need to see if all the nodes are there in the path and you came back where you have started and you are done. The checking is done in linear time and you are done. Determining whether a directed graph is a Hamiltonian cycle or not does not have a polynomial time algorithm, that is big of n factorial. However, if someone has given you a sequence of vertices, determining whether that sequence forms a Hamiltonian cycle can be done in polynomial time, that is linear time. Hamiltonian cycles are NP problem, that is non-deterministic polynomial. Second one is sleek problem. So in a given graph, find if there is a sleek of size k or more. A sleek is a subset of nodes which are completely connected to each other. The problem is NP problem. Given a set of nodes, you can verify easily, very easily find out whether it is a sleek or not. Our next type of problem is prime numbers. Finding prime number is NP. Given a solution, it is easy to find if it is a prime or not in a polynomial time. Finding prime number is important, which is heavily used in cryptography. Checking will happen until the square root of number, so the time complexity is big of root n. Hence, the prime number finding is NP problem, as we can verify the solution in polynomial time. Graph theory have wonderful set of problems. Shortest path problem, longest path is NP complete. Eulerian torus is a polynomial time problem, and Hamiltonian torus is a NP complete problem. Now comes our class co-NP. So the set of problems for which there is a polynomial time checking algorithm, given a solution, if we can check in a polynomial time if that solution is incorrect, the problem is co-NP problem. Class co-NP definition. The class co-NP contains all the decision problems such that there exists a polynomial time proof that can verify if the polynomial does not have the right yes or no answer. So if we could take a class co-NP problem and NP problem, and if we do the insertion of that, then the class P problem would lie somewhere between in the insertion of class co-NP and NP problem. I hope this definition was more precise to you, and it makes more sense to you, and it's not that much difficult. And if you are just aiming for the placements and interview, you don't need to understand all these topics. These are for the research purpose and higher studies. P is a subset of class NP. All problems that are P also are NP. Problem set of P is a subset of problem set NP. Searching. If we have to search some number sequence from A1 to AN, we already know that searching a number X inside this list of type P. If it is given that the number X is inside this sequence, then we can verify by looking into every entry again and find if the answer is correct in polynomial time, that is also known as linear time. Another example is sorting. Another example of sorting in a number sequence, if it is given that the array B1, B2, B3 up to Bn is a sorted, then we can loop through this given list and find if the array is really sorted in polynomial time, that is linear time. Now comes NP hard problem. So what exactly is NP hard problems? A problem is NP hard if all the problems in NP can be reduced to it in a polynomial time. So NP hard is basically the set of problems which is not in the NP problem itself. It's the most difficult problems. It's NP complete problems. Set of problems is NP complete if it is an NP problem and an NP hard problem. It should follow both these properties. Its solution can be verified in a polynomial time. All problems of NP are reduced to NP complete problems in polynomial time. You can always reduce any NP problem into NP complete in polynomial time. In addition, when you get the answer to the problem, then you can verify the solution in polynomial time. Any NP problem is polynomial time reduced to NP complete problem. If we can find a solution to a single NP complete problem in polynomial time, then we can solve all the NP problems in polynomial time. However, so far no one is able to find any solution of NP complete problem in polynomial time. Thus we can say that P is not equals to NP. Now our last topic is reduction problem. It is a process of transformation of one problem into another problem. The transformation time should be polynomial. If a problem A is transformed into B and we know that the solution of B in polynomial time, then A can also be solved in polynomial time. For example, quadratic equation solver. We have a quadratic equation solver who solve the equation in the form ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. It takes input a, b and c and generates output r1 and r2. Now try to solve a linear equation 2x plus 4 equals to 0. Using reduction, second equation can be transformed into the first equation. At last we have an atlas and we need to color maps so that no two countries have the same color. Let us suppose below is some various countries. Moreover, different patterns represent different colors. We can see the same problem of atlas coloring can be reduced to a graph coloring, and if we know the solution of graph coloring, then the same solution can work for atlas coloring too. Where each node of the graph represents one country and adjacent country relation is represented by edges between nodes. The sorting problem reduces to convex hull problem, SAT reduces to 3 SAT problems. Now end note, that is what is the conclusion of this video. Nobody has come up with such a polynomial time algorithm to solve an NP complete problem. Many important algorithm depends upon it. However, at the same time, nobody has proven that no polynomial time algorithm is possible. There is $1 million US for anyone who can solve any NP complete problem in polynomial time. The whole economy of the world will fall as most of the banks depend on public key encryption, which will be easy to break if P is equals to NP solution is found. So I hope this was clear, and let's end this video and end this series. Now I won't be recording any videos because I have covered most of the data structures and algorithm topics and each and every topics which was there in my book and the script and from wherever I was explaining those stuff. So that's all for this video, and thank you again for anyone who have supported me in this journey. If you think that I should record more videos, and yeah, one more thing is that the main objective of me doing this series was to improve my communication skills and improve my English speaking skills. So please go and watch my first video and watch this video. If you could find any difference in my communication skills and my English speaking skills, then please tell. Or if you think that I could improve my skills a little bit more by doing some changes, then please share those things also. As I won't be recording the videos from now on, it doesn't mean that I won't be practicing my English speaking skills and my communication skills. I will still try to practice these skills in different areas, but not necessarily I would be able to record all the videos of all those stuff. So yeah, that's all for today, and thank you anyone who have watched the video this far. All the best. Bye.